undefeated.
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Undefeated Podcast.
The only podcast with two undefeated fighters, fam.
Chatting it up. Listen, welcome to the show. Listen, if this is your first time rocking with this podcast, welcome to the family. If this is your first and last time, thanks for stopping by. Wish you nothing but the best for the future.
I ain't gonna lie though. I hope like you're walking and you stub your toe, fam.
Just a light indiscrepancy.
A light toe stub, like when you're like, bro, why did I stop listening to that thing?
Nah, for real, just letting you know, this is barbershop energy. Sometimes people like to misconstrue what that means, letting you know if you've ever been in a barbershop, if that's where you regularly frequent, you'll understand without explanation. But if you don't understand, this is where we get the off the top, bias, non-bias, whatever you think, say that.
No, but that. You know,
you ain't got to be a hardcore. You ain't even got to be enough to be a casual. Get your takes off. Believe in yourself, bro.
But we know we're diversifying our market and that. So you got to talk to the man, them and Tony and guys. I don't know really how they're giving it up in them places. I don't know what the barbershop sounding over there, but
Tony and Guy thing. Them man understand. Them man walk in, it's like, yeah. Look at Tony, bro. You understand? We've got both Tonys from different sides of the street. And we all can enjoy it together, bro. It's a beautiful situation.
It's a beautiful situation, bro. The melting pot of boxing. But
there you go.
Come on, you know. I just decided. I love it. That's perfect. We really got to get into this stuff. There's so much to talk about. Where do you want to go? Do you want to ask me my tailor of the tape?
Let's start with your tailor of the tape, bro.
I don't like to boast and talk about my tailor of the tape because people know it's a legendary one because I'm 0-0, fam. Never fought, never lost. If I did, someone gets knocked out and it's not me. Again, they asked me about the real stats, the real detail. I keep telling people, wait, it stays fluctuating. But I'm on point right now doing yoga, day 3 of the 30-day trial. It's crazy. Flexibility on its way. Flexibility on its way. So you have to understand, on day 25, bloody hell. All I'm saying is I'll be dangerous. I'm doing things I've never done before. I'm touching my toes. I'm touching my toes. You got to see it. You got to see what he looks like. But I would literally be doing things I've never done before. So looking forward to day 25. But that's me. Big man, what's your tailor of the tape?
I don't like to discuss, my stats. I like to pride myself in being a humble athlete. I'd probably say I'm the most humble athlete ever, bar none. My humility is ranked number 1 all the time. Some say that's not oxymoron. I just believe in myself. My record is a perfect one. 2-0 with 100% victory rate. Basically what I want to say is that half the men entered the ring with me, laid left on their backs. That's how I'm giving up with the KO percentage. Again, the most important stats, bro. I'm in the same mobility race that you're in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I've been on it for a while, seen very mild progress. Don't know how seriously I've been taking it, but I'm hoping that by the time October comes, my elbows should be able to touch. Like I really want to be able to do really random things, like sit down and like just cross.
Not make it sound
like the primary school. I want to get back to being able to do that again.
Oh man, no! You know what's so crazy? A little trip down memory lane in assembly because they know I had the worst flexibility. I was the only kid that was allowed to sit with my legs straight.
Hold on,
I didn't have to cross my legs. I just sit with my in primary.
Nah, bad flexibility at primary school age is insane. No, bro. How old are you? How old are you? How old are you really? How old are you really, bro?
You got the hands resting back like since that one, bro. I was a mess. I understand little KG was in there just trying to do things.
Hold on, how tall were you? Were you one of the super tall kids?
No, I weren't. I was bare tiny. This is the problem. I was mad tiny.
Crazy.
And then, because everyone in the family called me little rats. Look at these rats. That's what my dad used to call me. Look at these little rats. Yeah.
I was short as well. I was mad short for time.
Yeah, my sister was towering over me. 1 second, I'm just trying to turn down my lighting because it's a bit bright.
That is so. I was mad short until maybe the second year of college. That's when height really blessed me, boy.
Yeah, and height is essential, you know.
Bro. That, man.
Shout out the height. I don't know, the challenge man them that are just not tall, like, but you're in the middle. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a proper personality defining trait. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like there is a whole thing on height which was nuts, like not even to really stray off too off course. But I remember chatting to my brethren, he's a shorter guy, and I said to him, I was like, what's this short man syndrome? Is it like a thing? Like, do you
it's real?
And he goes, bro, 100%. He goes, even when me and you banter sometimes and you get the jokes off on me, he goes, for the fact that you're saying it down to me, it hits even more. I don't know if gravity is involved in the bants. He goes, but it just stings a little bit harder. I said,
so when it reaches, man, when the joke reaches, man, it's bare marinated. It's bare been like it's been in the fridge. I've
never heard anybody put it like that. I said, raw. That's
it's hard still, but big up all the man them. And again, if you're gonna stop listening to the pod because you feel attacked, we apologize right now. We will write the thing in notes. That's what people do for apologies.
Screenshot the statement. Yeah.
Screenshot the statement in notes.
That'll be out the minute you send that tweet. 2 minutes later, statement.
All right, let's talk this talk. I know you wanted to go. I know we wanted to start with our guy, but I want to go somewhere else. I want to go a little bit off piece right now.
Okay.
I want to talk about promoters, because I believe promoters are a big part of the problem in boxing. I think if promoters were cool, life just works, And now I'm seeing what they're doing. I look at the situation with Ben Shalom, Trav, remember before you had your first relationship, and you was just a guy that was just looking for love, ready to be that good, just the good you, But then the streets, the streets turn you into something else. When the streets get involved, you come out your house with the operation to be good, But the streets are mistreating you. And when I say the streets, Ben Shalom has been trying to get fights on, He's had the situation. You remember the tweets before? Because Frank Warren is moving mad,
Frank Warren is not here for him at all.
But what's sad about it? What's sad about this moment? You got to understand is it builds up. Remember when Frank was the big daddy to to what's his name? No, to who's running it now? Eddie Hearn.
Hearn,
Remember when he was the big daddy to Eddie Hearn, and he's kind of sunning him, and then Hearn said, "Watch this." He jumped above him, and he didn't want to deal with him no more because you tried to mistreat me. I'm watching Ben Shalom get like embarrassed on world stage. And all that's happening is he will quickly become a savage that does not want to do business, and it affects boxing down the line. If Frank should be really
keeping that relationship
he's trying to make an enemy out of someone that doesn't hate you yet. It makes no sense. The new face of Sky, the new blood of Sky. You're trying to make him an enemy, and it's long. So many times it happens within boxing. Obviously, the old school dons, they all love each other, but like you gotta welcome the new school.
It's the streets, bro. Like I hear you, man. Man's coming to the game with good intentions, and he's trying not to get into the mudslinging. And it's one of the ones where I just have to say, like, I hear you. Like, I'll tell you something like that I think about, Say, obviously, we're both parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you raise your kids in a way where it's like, you prepare them for the world that we have today, or you prepare them for the world that you would love to exist. So, you don't teach your kids how to self-defense, like, because violence is bad and and you just think, I've done a good job, but then they go out there and someone just smokes your child, and then you're like, wait, no, I've said I helped that person.
I've enabled this.
That's it. So now it's like Ben Shalom's taking that approach of, if I'm just gonna lead with love, hopefully these guys respond with love. And Frank is like, you are so green. He's not here for this. He's looking at this Dottie like, I'm gonna smoke your boots. Like you
at
can
every turn.
He's like, bro, do you not see how me and Hearn have been going back and forth for years? You think I'm coming in this thing to be nice and shake hands? He's like, you weren't even involved in the negotiations. I mean, for him to say that you had no dealings with your own fighter when we were making that thing happen, don't talk now.
It made it look bad. It made him look crazy. And you look, no, I don't even want to part of the picture of Big Frank because it's not necessary right now. But Big Frank is moving like it saddens me as a fight fan because I know what this turns into. People remember it's like mistreating a runner. If you're involved in what you call it, if you're involved in this entertainment thing or like film and anything,
I hate people.
Go on, mistreat that runner because I promise you, he ain't running forever. The runner is going to become a fully fledged person that can interrupt your career. Now, remember the word interrupt.
Interrupt, 100%.
Bro,
you thought this thing was a done deal. And you're like, no, they changed their mind. What? Why? All of a sudden? Who changed their mind? This guy.
That one runner. Listen, that one runner that you tried to disrespect because you came to work that day feeling yourself. Exactly. I'm just saying, I want to see the relationships develop with different promoters so we get certain fights. It shouldn't be awkward to see like we're getting who's coming across then? Because who's the Sky fighter?
Parker. Parker's come across, to BT. I mean, the thing is, what's happening now is that everybody's doubling down. Everybody's digging their heels in on their stance. And the game is just suffering as a result, right? Yeah, because like you look at the Fury and the AJ's thing, it's like that's the fight everybody. Crawford and Errol Spence, like Wilder and AJ, like there's so much nonsense in this game now. And then on top of that, we're widely oversaturated in the UK as far as promoters, bro. There's too many man in different. You got Wasserman over there on Channel 5, Shalom Sky Sports with Boxer, Frank Warren's over there in BT, DAZN with Hearn, and none of these men want to collaborate with ease. Like everything has to be super difficult, and it's like, bro, like the whole fact that platforms are so heavily linked to promoters is so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And
obviously the UFC model is the UFC model, but people don't get paid within that model. But
it's mad.
If there was just some kind of union-ish type thing that they were just all a part of, or something that they all
a giant board, like
a board that they just had to respect and work together, it could work. But there's never going to be that. That's why, again, you can't even get Mayweather and Tank to come to the table with Garcia. You can't get it. Like everyone is moving, and Oscar De La Hoya feels a way against Mayweather. Their beef is residual. Like their beef goes so far back that it's like, how, when?
Hear this though. It's trickling down to the fans, bro. Like it's so ridiculous, yeah. There could be a post go out. Like I did a tweet today, and I said, oh man, I can't believe AJ and Usyk is only 2 weeks away. Based on that tweet, I've not related how I feel about the fight or the outcome. Man are tweeting me, oh yeah, you matchroom boys. Always, Eddie Hearn, you always up Eddie Hearn's back. I'm like, fam, what? I'm highlighting the fact, that this gigantic fight is happening in 2 weeks and there's no hype. That's what the backstory, that's what the feeling was when I put the tweet out.
Yeah.
Bro, but now you start to see, wait a minute, you men hate Eddie Hearn. How? Like, bro, that's like I don't even, where does that go, bro? That's like you just hate the board of the football club with passion. Oh yeah,
that happens. By the way, that does happen.
I mean, but like to the point where it like
you hate the club secretary. You hate the club secretary. You hate the club secretary. Like, run, man.
What? I'm thinking to myself, bro. Like the fandom that promoters are getting now is kind of insane because I think where Eddie Hearn has like trailblazed and made himself a huge brand, the backlash of that is that you also are going to have people that go against you. So that means the trickle down on that is all your fighters. So,
but let's give people the flowers when they deserve the flowers. If we're gonna talk about a boxing promoter that's trailblazed and made themselves be the part of the team, we know his name. Obviously, there's legal proceedings right now, yeah, but we know his name. He's worked very hard. We have to put some big respect on Mr. Don King. And why
how can we not celebrate his length of service like how we do Frank Warren, fam? They both don't believe in escrow.
Why we have to put some respect on Don King's name is Don King came out in the era that boxing, in a beautiful era of boxing, and he made himself a big part of it and it was intentional. The hair, the fact Don King appears
only in America.
Only in America. Everything he's done, that's someone that is a brand genius. I think there should be they should study that in marketing. They should study that as part of your uni course and the way he was robbing man as well on top of it. And the reason why he's prolific and very consistent is Triple D's dealing with the issues right now.
Today, bro, Muhammad Ali, all these men got robbed by Don King. And you today come and deal with this brother and manage to get fleeced.
But that's why you got to call him a great, because what did Lennox Lewis say? Lennox Lewis said he touched every era. This guy is touched.
Fam, there's a part.
Knows no bounds, bro. This guy's getting next gen.
He is. He's that villain in the film where it's like he's on his deathbed and you think you're having a mom where you're like, you know what? End of the day, let's bury the hatchet. And he's like, yeah, say no more, man. And the minute you turn it back, he's drove for the girl. You're just a wrong. He's just the worst runner in the world. You just have to, you just got to get him the hell out of here. You cannot spare him one bit, not even in old age. No, don't take his calls. How does he? Think about it. Frank don't believe in escrow, yeah? We don't know if Dillian White's been paid. We can only imagine by the silence from Dillian that he has, yeah?
He's been paid. He's enjoyed it,
right?
Definitely.
How does that person, right, Frank, who's talking about, I'm no lawyer, you're a liar. How does he get fleeced? That means Don King came back to say, listen, I know you thought you had this thing. Yeah, I'm the guy.
Do you know what's funny about Don King though? And I feel for Dubois, because sometimes you got to look at what he was buying. When you go to certain shops and you can see that it might have the fragile sticker on it, but I beg you pick up the box. You'll know the glass is cracked. The glass is broken already. the sticker's there, but I'm telling you. The items are not
laptop. It's not a laptop, bro. It's bricks in that box, fam.
Man said fight for freedom, and he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go."
Yeah, and Don King said, the contractor said, "Look, fight for freedom means fight for free, dummy."
It was right in front of you this whole time. No. Again, so I hope Dubois gets his money, man.
There's too many situations in close like proximity with each other, where Frank has been involved and somebody's not happy about the arrangement. This Parker Joyce situation needs to be a smooth sail still, just for the reputation.
It's gonna let's talk about that. Let's get into that though. Parker Joyce, you excited?
The trash talk has definitely not excited me, but I do feel like the fight will deliver to a degree.
Yeah.
So I think that I feel like, you know what it is, yeah? I feel like some fighters need to know what their brand is. So it's like the trash talk thing works if you're a trash talker. If you are not a talker, don't just start trash talking. You clearly both like each other.
brethrens.
They're both such good vibes as well. Joyce is so blessed. Parker is one of the nicest guys in boxing. Bro, just be out there saying nice things. We would believe because it's genuine.
100%. One thing we do know, it's gonna set a light, and then I want to get into how that fight looks, because we're trying to work out what Joe Joyce is. A lot of people said Joe Joyce can beat Dillian. Joe Joyce can beat Who else they put him up against?
Some men have like irresponsibly said AJ. I say irresponsibly because I don't see
Yeah, it's irresponsible settings. What about because and I'm gonna bring Wilder back into the chat because he has entered the chat. Wilder's now sparring, he's back in the gym, he's showing signs of he's ready to be involved in this division somehow, some way, right? I don't know, like if Joe Joyce is to win this thing, does he come across as a legitimate heavyweight in this division that we should have our eye on, or there should be a level of fear, or should there, what happened off the back of this fight?
For me, I wouldn't say that he's not a legitimate heavyweight right now. I don't really feel like he's, got question marks over him. I feel like I know what Joe Joyce is in terms of very, very durable opponent. He's deceptive with his skills. He does have them. He knows how to get a jab off. He knows how to do what he needs to do. But I just don't see how he beats those top three guys. But as far as the rest, I feel like he's open season on being able to beat them. Like Parker, for example, how I see that fight playing out, he's gonna have to commit to a 12-round swift, box and move type thing. I don't think you shouldn't plan to knock out Joe Joyce. Do you know what I mean? But if you are,
you've seen this in real life. It's
bro,
it's just like
difference is uncomfortable. It's very solid.
It's mad. It's like it's that's mad.
Yeah, it's very mad. He's one of those people, that like, and I don't mean this in any type of insulting way, but when like their heads are maybe the skull is maybe thicker than a standard person, and not like that he looks.
Not in a rude
way. But there are some people that are like that. You know what I mean? Like
he's a solid guy. He's a solid, incredibly solid. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so for me, I'm like, I think Joe Parker has the skills to do it over the distance, right? But, you got to factor in that he's going to be all over him. He's going to walk forward and he's going to take his best. He's going to lean on him. He's going to grind him down. Like, it's a tough thing going in there with Joe Joyce if you ain't got the power that you need.
Styles are married up quite well, but my issue with Parker is he gets going late. Like he doesn't get going. He's got the quick hands. He's quite fast. But it takes him a while to engage and show that. In when I've been seeing him, I'm like, well, where was this part of your performance? Yeah. Where was this repertoire? Like, this is why I've jumped off the Parker wave. There was one time I was incredibly excited about Parker. I was like, this guy, like, it's right. He's good for boxing. It's a good time. He's a problem. He's quick. He's this. But then again, he just doesn't choose his moments.
I tell you what, my thing with Parker is, I just think he just doesn't have that spiteful presence in him.
Yeah,
he's a nice guy. Like I met him at the Chisora Parker fight, right? We're staying on the same floor in the hotel after the fight.
Yeah.
So imagine that guy out to the lift in the morning. Bro, it's him and Andy Lee by the lift. I was like, yo, had a good chat with him, man. But it's just such good vibes. Like, do you know what I mean? That bear friendly. But I feel like that personality kind of carries into how you fight. Do you know what I mean? Like with my own experience in boxing, my laid back vibe, I almost need to be provoked to the point where I'm like, okay, now I'm here. Like it's that for me. But with him, it's like I'm gonna do what I gotta do. You're not really good. It's not gonna be emotional. I'm not, stressing. I'm not, I'm not angry at you. I don't dislike you. I'm just boxing because I box. And I'm like, no, I want it to seem like you hate this brother when you're in there.
I'm still here, by the way. I'm still here.
Yeah. I just feel like it's important that a fighter has that spite because when the fight does turn up, and it's like that's how people win rounds certain times.
It's important. It's key. It's paramount. But I know that it's funny. I don't want to say Joe Joyce is at a funny place in the Parker's in a funny place in the road, right? But it needs to kick on now, or we need to know what the next part of this career is. What are we looking at? What does these next 4 to 5 fights? What does that look like? We kind of know that Joe Joyce is not even in that place. We're not considering it. We're saying, well, he's coming up and he looks like he should be fighting. He should be getting a big title shot soon. You say Joe Joyce, you should be fighting for one of the titles. Like it's only right in terms of if you win this fight, yeah. But then with Parker, you say to yourself, well, what are you gonna become? Like, if you lose to Joyce,
yeah,
what's out there for you? What's the next move? And especially Sky Sports have kind of wrapped their arms around him and said he's our guy. And it was mad because they did it post. They announced Joyce post losing AJ, right?
Yeah, but you got to say to yourself, how much have they wrapped their arms around him if they let him fight on BT, bro? See what I'm saying?
Well, but then there you go. Then that's why I'm talking about the gap in the road, right?
He's got a place in Sky, a high, very well-respected place, no doubt. But I don't think they're doing the whole he's the face thing.
Yeah.
I think they're like, no, we're building our stable still.
Yeah. I think you'll quickly, you segued us so nicely into the thing, because you know who the guy is. You know who the guy that it's going to be hard because they might want to speed up his career or his progression. And that's the one we're talking about, Ben Whittaker, bro. Sky are very, very excited to have this talent. Link 258, which is he's got the right mandem around him. He's got the ingredients to be he's an emotion evoker. He evokes an emotion. So I would say he's either you really like it or you hate it.
It's like when Kanye's got that lyric. He's like, everybody feels a way about but at least y'all feel something. Like,
yes.
That's the type of presence that Ben has, to the point where it's like people have to come forward and announce that I think he's great, but the arrogance, or this guy's a star. Like, someone, you have to speak. And that's what I think he's got the ingredients. I think he looked amazing. I think it's a fantastic debut. Do you know what I mean? Like, the guy's speed, movement, and footwork is incredible. Like, I watched it back here just today, and I was like, if you see how fast this man is moving in there, because he's slipping, and it's like, it's that one where it's like, he's backed him up against the ropes, he kind of bounces aside, and it just literally just runs. It's like he just, like a little weird, like half run underneath his arm, and it's like, Donnie is nowhere near him, fam.
He's something different. He needs, he's good for boxing. He's good for boxing. Like, it's more than entertainment. And you can see the marriage between what are we calling him? What's the trainer's name again? Sugar Hill. The marriage with Sugar Hill, it's a good one. Sugar Hill's like, I don't want to change you as a fighter. You know when he said he was enjoying himself, having too much fun in there, and he thought Sugar Hill was going to be like, nah, like he told me to go to work. He's like, no, I like some of that. I want to bring out the best parts of him. And I was like, that's a good trainer. The same way we've accused my man of turning people into 4.0, like everyone, right? And when a trainer says, even you can, I hate to say this about Roy Jones, but Roy Jones turning Eubank into Roy Jones 2 again is like, you need to just decide that you're going to bring out the best in what the guy has.
Thank you.
I think that'll be is always the telling factor in these fighters, right? So I really do like this. I really do like this guy. He says 7 fights before he sees.
I can see it. To be honest. Like, not necessarily that it has to be done as easy, but I can see him definitely moving like.
But Dan is moving quick. Dan's moving nicely on Sky. He's cooking nicely. He's got.
But that's why I'm not sure. That's why I'm not sure it's Dan that he'll meet at that early point. But the step up will be there. Like, you remember Dan's got the British, right? In 5 fights time, Dan ain't gonna be holding the British. You know what I mean? He's gonna want to move on. So that's why I'm like, it's not even about
Dan.
but
Sky need to, what do you call it? No, but what you have to understand, we're talking about the stable battles, right? And Sky is saying to themselves, we need to come into the forefront because it's looking a bit nuts in terms of we got Eubank here, kinda. Who we got? We got
Liam Smith.
We got the Midnight Train. I think he's on there, right? React 4, but then React 4, unfortunately, is in a dormant. I don't want to call it a dormant division, but the division isn't mad exciting. Cruiserweight division is not like.
Coley might be coming over, but he say that. But
they got the Coley name.
Keon Drummond's there. Chris Billen Smith just won on the other day against Isaac. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's still moving. It's just not
But then again, Reactpor's already done that. Billum Smith, like getting us to be excited about that. Nah, like no, and again, it's not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying what it is, right? So you need to say, well, what have I got now that I can fast track into? Because we saw the same, like the reason why we give respect to AJ is AJ was fast tracked. You know, once those belts got separated and Charles Martin was holding one, the timeline just said, all right, well, let's go for it. Yeah. You know, and I can see them really
like Klitschko taking on a hungry Klitschko after he's like that loss against Fury, when it's like, I feel like as a champion who goes through a loss like that, you could put that down to like, raw, was I serious about my man? Was I complacent about anything? It doesn't take anything away from what Fury did on the night, but it's one of them ones where as the champ who walks away, it's like, I didn't even get beat up. I didn't get hurt. I just allowed this thing to happen. Like, so the next fight, because obviously he went for the rematch with Fury, and then that's where controversy started to loom. And then that point there, you stirring, and then AJ comes along. He's got the belt now, so it's like, all right, cool. Let me redeem myself and show people that I'm still. So he got that version of Klitschko.
He got he got hungry.
He got hungry Klitschko. People love to say,
I haven't seen in a long time.
People say, he got old. He got old Klitschko. I'm like, to diminish the quality of it.
He got a wounded animal Klitschko that was embarrassed in his own, like, he was embarrassed in front of his people. I won't say in his own country. He was embarrassed in Dusseldorf, bruv. It was a bad night. And you kind of say to yourself, I wonder what Fury would have looked like against Klitschko, that Klitschko in the rematch, because he would have pushed him to the edge. And Klitschko he just got bamboozled by Fury. And I think it could have been, it had the potential to be closer, because you know what's funny in the end of that fight, in the final rounds. Wait, so I will say,
he rocks him a little bit in the 12th. It's the 12th.
Yeah, because he works it out. He's like, he finally Klitschko realizes I've run out of time. Oh my goodness! And it's like, but it's too late. And I think a little part of Fury was like, and this me as a Fury guy, a little part of Fury is like, you know, is that when Fury realized
I'm not fighting this again?
I'm out, you know. But then Fury, it's like that thing when Fury realized with Wilder, I can beat you in that final round, right? It was that thing. It's like, okay, the negotiations for me and you meeting again,
easy.
I ain't gonna make it easy. I might not even be here. I mean, that was the settings, right?
It's techie. So it's like you look at that and you say, AJ was fast tracked to a degree, because there was still talks about learning fights. Before the Charles Martin thing, if I recall, I can't remember.
There was loads.
But after that, it's like you're in with the big boys now. It is what it is. So I think
they're going to do that with Ben. I think they'll fast track him, because just how he talks, how he is, you can't have a product like that and not put it on the shelves.
You say that though. It'll be if I'm those guys, I'm not fast tracking to the point where I'm just trying to please the fans. No way. I'm fast tracking, but to the appropriate level of his development. Where it's going to be easy for them, where it's going to be easy for them is that he has a deep amateur pedigree. Like, people are saying, why is he all arrogant because he's done that against a 6-6 opponent? He's been doing that to the most amazing decorated amateurs in this world, bro. Like you remember, there's going to be gems in the amateur division that ain't pro yet.
Yeah,
and he fights like that with those guys. Yeah, right. And this is also with the shoulder injury, which is like, is his kind of explanation is like why there weren't many stoppages and KOs in my amateur days. But he's coming to the pro game, got the efficient coach, and he's like, yo, I can move in a way that most powerful guys don't move. And then on top of that, I've got power. Bro, I don't understand how you watch him, right, as a fan of boxing and say, I don't really like all that flashy. Nah, bruv. The guy is about to bring a lot of entertainment. Enjoy him while he's here. Yeah.
Enjoy it. But then you said, funny enough, we were talking before we started recording, right? And when you mentioned Ben Shalom, bro, as you said, he just got sunned in that interview. You weren't even involved in the negotiations. So that's the same guy that's having to navigate. I know 258 is a big part of it, right? So they're really involved. But again, it's like Sky. The hard thing for Sky Boxer is you're competing right now. You're having an open shootout with the zone. Like, it's there, and you have who's going to win it. And right now, no one is, as the consumers, we haven't said who's on top because we need to see something. We're, as consumers, we're like, okay.
It's a funny one, right? Because here's how I look at the lay of the land, right? I say the potential stars and the current stars, probably say AJ, Conor Ben. There's a lot of potential stars at Matchroom. Watsy, for example, coming through. Like, there's a lot of guys who are capable of quickly becoming those guys, right? But they might not be just there, but they're on the cusp. With Sky Sports, there's a young lion that could grow into that position. But as far as like a big established, it's not really there. Like, they're on a reboot type journey.
Yeah, when you got, if you look at BT has Yard, right?
Fury and Yard.
Fury and Yard, boom. They got that Dennis the Menace.
Dennis McCann.
I just like something about him is
I would say he's away from Stardom.
He's away from Stardom, but he's he seemed like a prospect that you'll continue to see. I've got my eye on him. I've got my eye on what he's doing. He's a good prospect with, you can see, okay, there's something happening here. And then even Triple D, I know it sounds mad, but he was on the rise for Stardom, and then
if he makes two statement wins, over a significant opponent, and he's now back into that combo.
He's back in the conversation.
Let's say Joyce loses, right? Joyce loses to Parker, right? And it's one of them ones where it's like, it's bad enough to be a write-off type situation. Joyce doesn't have much of a personality where he can kind of just talk his way back into the situation. He's kind of going to have to do something to get it back. Dubois is now next up. He's got the belt, the regular belt. He's got that there to the point where it's like, I'm still in the conversation. You can't actually leave me out anymore. So it can happen very quickly.
And Sky, what Sky have is they have Shields Marshall.
Oh, snap.
They have that. That's massive. That's huge. They have
and they got Baumgardner and Mikkel Mayer on that card as well. Like, that's going to be
solid. And that's what I'm saying. So Sky are really, in a little part of me is like, they're kind of almost going toe-to-toe ish. They've had the Khan night. They had the Amir Khan night, which is a fantastic night.
Definitely competing. Like, there's no way you can say
they're in there. They're really in there. And sometimes to compete, you got to do mad things. You got to take mad chances. And if you feel someone is ready, is all I'm saying. So I do hope they take their time with Ben. I know he's got the coach is the correct coach for him. The coach is his work with the technical fighter in Fury as well.
And
he's added. Right. We used to laugh at Fury knocking people out.
I know, bro.
You can now. You can now. It's just, we don't even have that conversation anymore.
That's the thing. So like, even when I've been talking about, say, talking boxing with my dad about Fury, for example, and I'm just like, the power conversation is not even can't really say that about Fury is getting better, which is actually quite amazing to be able to say about a fighter at his age.
Yes,
where it's like, he's, after all the things he has done, from the last performance to the one against Dillian White, I'm like, no, this man's still getting better. Like, he actually knows what the balance is in terms of being evasive and coming forward. It's like, bro, if I dig, we're getting you
the hell out of here.
Yeah. So I think it's impressive.
So we move on again. You mentioned Isaac Chamberlain. I think he needs a lot of and Billy Smith as well. They need a lot of respect. And I saw you was in the chat basically saying, you're talking about the tempo of the fight, and man, that fight kicked off. It just I
couldn't believe they attempted to maintain it for the whole fight. Like that for me, like, they say about, like, obviously I was talking in the Discord group. If you're not in the Discord, guys, join the group, man. The conversation just does not stop, bro. But I was really surprised at how he just maintains this come forward thing, and he also drags you into his type of fight.
You're talking Bill Smith.
Bill Smith is like, yo, I don't care what you think you're gonna do. End of the jab. No, I'm going to be in your chest, and this is where it stays. And he's such a he's a unit, bruv.
Strong.
Like, I was looking at Chamberlain in that fight thinking, you might be too small for cruiserweight, because this is like, I'm regularly kind of used to seeing him be smaller in there now. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, Coley he's different, but then Bill Smith was like really towering over, man, and Dion Drummer's big as well.
Yeah.
And I'm just, like, React was big, and I'm just kind of like, it almost looks like he's kind of caught between that light heavy cruiser, that type of thing.
It's such a shame that when you talk about this, because the cruiserweight division should be amazing. And when you talk about speed, like the power, speed, and what you can, because they should be savage fights. And we kind of almost got that. It was different. It was my type of fight. It was just not a lot of defense shown in there.
Coming forward.
Like,
I thought after the first round, I thought, Chamberlain, you're just gonna get worked up, bro. Then he rocked him in like the second or third, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. And it's mad because Billam in that same round rocked him near there when it was like near the closing. You say to yourself, oh man. Again, it was one of those two warriors at it, two warriors putting on the line. And I think that he is a shame that it's taken this long for him to regain his respect. Because Okoli, luckily being linked with the correct promotion company, he was able to get over Huggate faster. Okoli put in a lot of work. Because remember, that match, them two was originally billed as British beef. And people said, listen, I don't want any part of that beef. I can't even call that the kind of beef you put in a Cornish pasty, fam. That kind of, it was a mess. Yeah.
It's uncomfortable view.
It was horrible. It was a hug fest, right?
There's a lot of trash talk in that before the fight as well.
Everything. They did everything, right? For it to turn into, it was damp, basically. So now, that's what it was. And then, but then you say to yourself, wow, look what happens with the right pieces behind you to be the right guy within boxing, right? So we look at Cody. Cody's been on GMT, Good Morning Britain.
With the book out, the McDonald's thing.
He's worked very hard though. Made the tune. He's done a lot after British beef. That is, we don't think about him like that. But then it's a shame that it took Chamberlain putting his heart on the line. Yeah,
do you know what it was? He went the wrong way. Well, not the wrong way. He rebuilt over a different way. Like he went over to Channel 5 for a bit. So it's like when you're kind of fighting on those cards. Is it? No, it's not his fault. It's just the
team that he has. Is what he's signed to. Is the point I make. The point I'm making.
But it's one of them ones where it's like, as much as the sell of Channel 5 is, terrestrial TV and all these people can access it, but it's like you don't really see stars created on Channel 5, I don't think, in this era.
Just
you know I mean? There was a time. Yeah, there was a time when it was like, oh, I'm rushing to see Eubank Jr. fight. And I genuinely was doing that when he first came out, because I was just like, what, yellow shorts? That's like his dad. I was gassed. But then now I'm like, I mean, I'll watch if boxing's on because I love boxing, but I don't know that the casual man is just going, oh yeah, let me just check out who's going to be on. Yeah, I'm going to follow this guy.
It's like when you're the son of David, David Hay. Is that when he was fighting on Dave? It's like,
I know you tried it. You tried the son of David.
I wasn't.
There was no. It didn't even hit. It didn't even work. You tried to get that banner off. It didn't fly.
No, because I would show you. I'll show you. You know me.
No, it don't work though.
When I'm doing it. You show me when I'm doing it. Now I was trying to respect it because I'm like, I know that your dad listens. I know your dad listens, and I don't want to banter your dad.
It was weak though. It didn't hit.
I know your dad listens, so I was trying to be respectful because he's listening week in, week out.
Anyway, listen. But yeah, no, the when David Hay came back for those fights on Dave. But the thing is, it's like you got to look at some people some people are good businessmen, right? To the point where it's like, as much as something might look how it looks.
One second, let me just put on my cape.
Go on, then do it. Go for it. No, because I say it like this. Some people, some people know how to navigate the business side of things, where it's like, as much as man will say what they're saying, the money here is crazy. So it's like you look at, say, when Hay fought Value, right?
Smoke machine, so it looks like I'm flying.
When Hay fought Value, bro, that was a Haymaker promotion, fam. You're an idiot, bro. You're an idiot, bro. No, but I'm being real though. You know what I mean? No, but I'm saying there's a difference though, because it's one of the ones where it's like, it's my promotion on the channel that men are saying it's whatever. Whereas fighting on a card that exists on Channel 5. Like, it's definitely not the same conversation.
Oh, let it go, man. I know
I had to clarify that. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't even let you get that off and be like, yeah, like you won something. You ain't win nothing, bro. You definitely took that out. But in regards to business decisions, yeah, no, check this out now. Just out because Segue King. In regards to business decisions and broadcasts and whatnot, right? So obviously, I feel like the arrangement involving these three parties has created a very messy outcome. Obviously, with the Zone, Sky, and the Saudis out there doing the deal on the fight.
Oh, I didn't even realize this is where we went. Oh,
no. Segue King. Whilst we're here, just a quick route. But for me, I'm like, it's not panned out in the way that I don't think anybody had hoped it would, right? The only person I think might be happy because they're getting paid is AJ, realistically. Because you look at it like this, right? Saudi, they've obviously chosen Sky. I don't think Sky were even the biggest bidder, but they were just like, no, we want it there, and that's how it ended up there, right? Usyk wanted to get the rights to the fight so he could broadcast it for free in Ukraine. They said, you know what? You can have that as a gift. So the fight will be free for Ukraine, for guys in Ukraine, and on Usyk's YouTube channel, fam. Right? Yeah. So now think of it like this, yeah. You're paying in the UK to watch the fight. Bro, a young VPN.
VPN.
I don't even want to get into a thing where it sounds like we're encouraging that, but we are in a very tech-savvy era. And as a boxing fan who tries to watch American fights, and you know, some fights they're over here, and some American fights they're not pay-per-view, so you can't even really do it any other way other than to go online to certain sites to go and watch the fight. Now you're dealing with that as your audience. When a man says, yeah, it's free over that side, man says, you know what? You lot don't understand VPN technology, do you? Like, and I'm speaking on it casually as a way to say, you lot are going to leave a gaping hole in your PPV revenue.
It's mad.
No one's gonna win.
And you know what? Be prepared that we might not see them. Well, the Saudis could have an investment that's bad, but it just looks good, so they might stay involved in it, right? They might roll with it and say, no, the look of having these two here is better. The optics of me just standing behind AJ and Usyk when they're looking at each other in a stare-off is worth. I'll pay for that. Some maybe the Saudi group will say that, but then end of the day, you got to look at the bottom line. And if they're thinking, well, financially, this investment has not done anything for me. Like. Yeah. I'm not, the pay-per-view numbers are not going to be high. We've already given stuff away to Usyk's side. But you know what are we doing here? And then they're not even pushing it on Sky properly.
But their gain in all of this is less about boxing and more about trying to kind of be the space where it's like, no, this is where it goes down. This is the place where the big events come. Like that's more the bid that they're on. It's much bigger than just trying to make some peas back on the AJ-Usyk. But the fact is you're dealing with people who are essentially trying to make peas off AJ-Usyk, and no one seems to be getting the love of the luck of the rub. Like, them men are sitting there like, so hold on, how do I win in all of this? No, you don't. You don't. You basically, from the Zone side, right? Let's try and get into the perspective of both of these groups, right?
From the Zone right now.
From the Zone side, we've signed AJ to the proper deal. Like, we've given man shares. He's the ambassador of boxing on our team. We're backing him fully. He's fighting on Sky Sports in the UK, right? We're still going to get the global broadcast. But that UK one, though, like, we've lost that. Adam Smith and them, man, like, yeah. You know, we're the platform. I'll be honest, the platform talk, it's a tricky one to really be like, okay, cool, I buy into that, because no one's ever spoken about platform necessarily before when things were kind of going cool. And if it is a platform thing, then it doesn't really need an Eddie Hearn stand-in.
But it needs to be promoted, though. Is this the lowest? This is the worst promotion I'm saying from Sky in terms of it's their fight that they're.
I don't see anything.
I haven't seen anything. I wouldn't believe that we went. How far's the fight? You said 2 weeks time.
Bro, it's 2 weeks away. I tweeted that today out of shock of there's no like buzz. Like, it doesn't even feel like
AJ fight week. Yeah. And you know what was bad timing? Eddie Hearn gave an interview recently and he spoke about Fury and he's talking about who's the draw and who's the main guy. And it was funny because he was saying that he still believes AJ is the main guy. He's the main draw. Yeah. But then he started talking. It was funny because I don't know how you felt about this interview, but he talked about signing. He talked about Fury and wanted to sign Fury and said it's not something that I write off in the future. You can never. He was open to it. I thought interesting. I thought because nothing is said for no reason, right?
Yeah.
He spoke about, look, I had AJ. AJ's been the guy, yes, and then he acknowledges Fury is now an official somebody within boxing, and he's someone that I think to myself, yes, he's overweight, so I didn't see him becoming this, but I don't know if he probably, I don't know if Eddie Hearn says to himself, I think I should have signed him. I don't know if he's thinking to himself, I missed the shit there.
I think he feels like that because the fight would have been made by now. The fight would have happened before all of this. Like, because for me, I don't think he believes him and Fury would be a good match in any instance. I don't know what their relationship is like, but it doesn't feel like it is an organic one that's going to work. You got to look at it like this here. Man's been rocking with AJ since the beginning of this thing. Like, he's his guy. I'll back AJ in any conversation. Fury, I think he alluded to the fact that Fury would have known that signing with me, hence why he didn't. So it's one of them ones where it's like, I wish I could have got him so I could have made that fight happen. Would have got him out of here. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe he's talking about future things.
I will say he didn't feel like that. I'd say it felt like, because he still had Dillian, and he still knew that Dillian was Dillian didn't, and the Dillian that he had before, he knew that there was something special there. Yes, Dillian was in the back seat of the car. He was in the back seat of the Astra.
Yeah, but Eddie Hearn has never believed Dillian was going to beat AJ. Let's face it. After that first fight,
not AJ, a world champion he did. He maybe be a world champion.
But he needed Dillian to go after the WBC as a way to get that belt back into the fold.
Yes.
So Dillian, that's your mission, to go and get that belt back. And obviously it's going to be a thing where AJ gets it.
And then they unify. No, then they have the thing again, and it's a unification thing. He wanted to have two big heavyweights, and then he wanted to bring them together at the end in the UK somewhere and say, look what I've done. Yeah,
facts.
Superstar promoter. And it didn't, unfortunately, it hasn't panned out. And he's saying to himself, maybe I should have put more emphasis. But when I saw that guy fat and overweight, I didn't think he'd gonna rise to what he is now.
And nobody would. Like, I don't even think he necessarily wants to have Fury on his books like that in any serious campaigning way, because you got AJ. It would never. It doesn't marry. Those two guys don't accept They won't accept second place after being first everywhere they've been. It won't make any sense.
Quote was weird in terms of. I feel like he's either lining the ground for what the moves that he makes after. Let's say if AJ's night don't go the way it's meant to go. He's not stupid. Eddie Hearn has to think of the show must go on. And if I can tempt, because you don't throw things out for no reason. You would have said that statement and just left it. It's the fact that he said, you never know in the future, something could happen. I know Frank ripped up 1,000 yellow pages in his.
What does what do you call it? That's hilarious, having the yellow pages. Bro, tearing the yellow pages. You know how strong and angry you got to be. But like, let's try and imagine it. Yeah, what does a Tyson Fury and Eddie Hearn relationship look like?
It's
I feel like I struggle to imagine it only because of how long AJ and Hearn have been rocking. But like, Eddie Hearn can sell anyone.
It's like what Thingy looks like. It's like what what a Yarden Eddie Hearn relationship looks like. It's something that makes you smile. Look how happy you are. Because
no, I'm trying to picture it. That's why I'm like.
A Yard and Eddie.
See them standing side by side and chatting is like, that's mad.
With Tunde there. Remember Tunde just there at the side as well. Yard, Eddie.
Tunde and Hearn bouncing off each other whilst Yard is in the background. Because Yard is so chill. There's no talk.
No, but he'll talk more. He can't be in that space. He will.
It won't be a madness though. I don't think
nothing insane. Nothing insane, but it will be the right amount of charisma. It'll be the right amount of charisma. It'll be perfect, basically. You know, like we've said it for long. Like, just imagine he was there with the machine behind him. But then the funny thing is, I believe, and tell me if I'm wrong. I believe that the the Matchroom machine was more effective when it was connected to Sky. I don't look at the machine the same way now. I look at it like the zone hasn't sold me yet, though. I still look at the zone with side eye in a sense, like, what is it, though? Do you understand what I'm saying? Matchroom with Sky, because we still understand what Sky is. When I can say Sky sources, it's good as Matchroom.
I'll tell you what this is like. This is a maddest analogy. You remember when because obviously Kobe and Shaq won mad championships together, right?
Yeah.
Remember when Shaq left and went to Miami for a bit?
Yes.
And it was like, you're over there, looks crazy. You got Dwayne Wade, Shaq, and Lamar Odom. Their team was looking, no, not Lamar Odom, but their team was looking nuts. And he looks at Lakers and it's like, yeah, your team's still looking good as well, though. But obviously, I don't think you're going to get a championship, but it's still cold.
And this is what I'm saying.
It's not the championship, but
that's what I'm saying. The zone match, like, it just feels like that. It just feels like pieces are missing. This.
But just to continue the analogy, Miami Heat went on to win the championship. The Lakers eventually got theirs. So my thing is, I think the zone still are going to be closer to becoming those guys, and then Sky Sports slowly come soon afterwards. Because they got to rebuild. They need a couple more pieces. Do you know what I mean? When Ben Whittaker blooms into the star and he's now the guy,
he will be. He'll be selling that out too.
Bro,
he'll be selling that out too. And put some respect on Femi's name because he signed to 258.
Bro, don't get messed up. Like, if we talk about the AJ and Usyk fight, right? My prediction is an AJ win.
Yeah.
My prediction is an AJ win. AJ beats Usyk in this fight right now, right? And everything is set for the Fury fight in whatever part of this year. But beating Usyk in any capacity of how it looks, I don't care if it's a points, KO, or disqualification. Nah, I'm joking. But like getting that W would be a huge accomplishment. Forget the free time stuff. That's dope. But also the fact that you beat Usyk, bro.
Usyk,
like,
who we're now saying is one of the Usyk's gone up in the pound for pound list. Usyk's gone up on people's all-time list as well. I'm not saying it's that all but I'm saying that the respect that Usyk gets when you say who is, when you talk about the conversation the other day about the world level and elite and Usyk, the variables that he has, you start to say, well,
getting that W,
you can't call him elite. You have to
significant.
Yeah, so it'll be. I believe AJ wins as well. I think he's gonna be aggressive. He's gonna be the one that's coming forward. He's gonna let him. AJ remembers the moments because when he's on that sit down with Savage Dan, he remembers the moments where he had Usyk really thinking about him. And if AJ focuses on that part and says, look, I know when I've hurt him, I know he visibly gave me tells and signs.
That's right.
Let me know that I'm a problem.
Didn't believe them.
And now I have to, instead of messing around, I'm going to go forward and see that facial expression again. And once I see it there, if I see it in the first round, I just go and just continue.
Here's how I see the fight kind of playing out, right? I don't think he's going to go all gung-ho like everyone has been saying. And I know I've said that he should do that as well. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be a little bit more, it's going to be maybe a level or two just below that supreme aggression. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be an educated one. Because let's be real, marching forward to Usyk isn't the game plan. Like, that's not the best move. It's one of those ones where it's like, what you have to do, because I watched that AJ fight back again up to about round 9, just like a couple weeks ago. And it's one of those things where it's like, it wasn't the landslide I felt it was when I watched it live. Because watching it, we watched it, obviously we was at the fight, and I'm watching it thinking, he's not doing anything at all. Like, he's not even giving me trademark AJ combos. He's just so caught up in this game plan. And I look at it now and I think to myself, when you try to go for perfect boxing, every time you get hit is a surprise, right? Whereas when you're prepared for a dirty fight, you brace yourself to be punched. Do you know what I'm saying? You brace yourself for something to land on you. Whereas in this, if you look at how tried to be punched perfect, every time he got hit, it was like, fluffed it. Like there's too much on you trying to be boom, 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 punch. Nothing on your punch. You're just trying to land so you can slip. And I'm like, you got to know that's not you now. You watch that back and have to have those regrets. It's like when I watch myself perform, and I'm a high energy performer, and I watch myself do a whole set, and I stood on the one spot the whole night. That lets me know I wasn't even myself in there.
Yeah.
Like, if it goes bad and I'm giving you me, then I can say, hey, you weren't my crowd, boy. That feeling of I didn't even get my best stuff off.
I think it's a 7th round knockout. I think it's a 7th round knockout. 7th round knocks him out. Yeah. I think it's clear. I think it'll be there'll be a lot of clarity, and it'll be a time for AJ to really tap on his chest, and it brings him into the Fury negotiations perfectly, because even Fury deep down needs AJ to knock my man out so we get all the money. We get the total bag. We get the full bag.
All of Fury's camp have at different points been like, no, AJ, back in AJ. Like Tyson Fury himself, sometimes or maybe not, but his dad, what's my man's name? Trainer, Ben Davison. He was talking the way like how he sees it, and I'm like,
Peter Fury. Peter
Fury. They want him to win because they know that is the fight.
That's the fight.
Usyk is going to be a hard fight. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they think he's easy at all, but they know that the peas is there with AJ, and them two coming together creates the biggest pot of boxing.
It's the pot of boxing, and you know what's clever? Do you know who's really intelligent? Like really, really smart. Yeah. Actually, I'm just going to drop a bomb for this guy. Wilder's a very clever man.
Wilder.
He's a very clever man. I didn't even clocked it until just now, right? Wilder knows the Fury and AJ fight is very difficult to make. Very difficult. Now, I announced my comeback, fight when AJ's probably won, If there's any hiccups in there, I will now speak a bit louder for AJ to recognize me and say, because me and AJ were supposed to get on before. And Wilder knows I don't want to go that Fury route, but if I can be distracted, the same way Fury done what they did was AJ and Thing was taking so long, AJ and Wilder were taking so long, Fury jumped in and said, oh, well, let's just fight then, us two. So now these two are supposed to get on, and someone just jumps in and says, well, if these lot are taking so long, I'll fight you. It's clever because we haven't seen him for a long time, and for him to have one fight and let's have it right. AJ wants to fight Wilder. He's always wanted to fight Wilder. So it's not easy. It's an easier fight to make now. And if it's not like I'm fully entertained, if they say that if this fight doesn't happen in terms of Fury, because these men can't agree, there's so many channels and stuff. If he enters the chat in terms of Wilder and says, yo, listen, you said you can beat me. I'm here. Wild one. It makes sense.
The part that you're missing is PBC is where Wilder is. PBC are one of the people that are like, more than everyone, we're not doing business with her.
Not when you think you can. Not when you think you have the champion that thinks he can take that. Because I know PBC. Remember, there's an arrogance of
Al Heyman is.
There's an arrogance in terms of how they look at AJ though, and they look at him. Some of them in the overseas, they look at him kind of fraudulently. They respect Fury because Fury's made Wilder look a certain way. But Wilder, they've always spoken down on AJ's name. They've always seen this guy as someone that can beat AJ because remember AJ is quite in terms of his head movements a bit. And he's
I get you. I've said similar things. About that matchup. Yeah,
he's entertaining. Yeah. So they say to themselves, you know what? Roll the dice and take everything from him. Because imagine if PBC took it that way.
That would be insane. It would be very mad. But I cannot. I mean, it is a reach, but
it's not
anything's possible. But you got to remember, Fury wants to retire. He's not trying to do any more bouts. He wants to leave the sport, but he wants to do it after the AJ.
They have to agree.
Bro, he wants to do this after. I promise you, that fight, he's ready to fight AJ if AJ comes through Usyk.
Yes, and while I understand this, right? Conor Benn and Chris Eubank, we know it with our full hearts. They want to fight. Yeah. However, my want and contractual obligations, as they're saying on Monday Night Smoke, they're very separate. So while I want this, the contract has to allow this to happen. And I believe with because if AJ does it in a fashion that says he's back, wow. Because boxing's so fickle, he could have a wicked performance and AJ stock goes from like here all the way to here, bruv. And now when we negotiate, don't negotiate with me as a small boy. I'm negotiating with you, bro. This is a 50-50 fight. Fury saying, how's it 50-50, mate? I've never lost.
He's like, bruv, I'm a 3-time champ. I got the rest of the belts.
I did.
And I'll just beat Usyk, who is an absolute monster. So don't
there you go, but I've never lost. Stagnation. And then we talk about the channels and stuff. If I'm Wilder, I'm telling you now, bro, prepare yourself. If the negotiations are going to be crazy, when we ain't got Crawford and Spence, big man, you can enter the chat, fam. And if it happens, I'm going to feel like Nostradamus, fam.
That's hilarious.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone watching this, I hope you've enjoyed this audio journey today, tonight, whenever you're going to be watching this. We appreciate you guys. Always don't forget to like and subscribe and just continue to rock with us, man. We'll continue rocking with you. You got any words to say for them?
Guys, have a great week, man. Have a great week. And we'll see you on Monday.
Simple as that. Everybody, we are on. Peace. Yo, people, thanks for watching the Undefeated podcast. Make sure you
like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and all that good stuff, man. This is the place to be.